think is good, but the trust word, boy, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Wants Arsenal to win the Champions League. As an American, I knew nothing about soccer. I rely on you and the games I watch to assist me in my transition to learning the game. Don't say that, man. You know football for your own back, my guy. I don't know if I'm educated on this football thing, man, but I appreciate that, man. I'll be real. I pride myself on stuff like integrity, but I don't know if I'd be the same person if someone waved seven figures in front of me. I mean, naturally, you do change in it, but to a degree. But yeah, man, I think I just don't know if these look. I don't know these lots, so I don't know them as a person, and all the rhetoric we see. I see a lot of comments. You know, we could all probably go through and look at. I don't. I think I don't see it in it, and for me, I'd love to be wrong. For me, talking is a cheap currency. We can all talk. We can all say, I want to go gym. I want to be physically fit. The doing's expensive. You know, how many people are going to go gym once to 3 times a week and change their diet and things? Talk is a currency. Everyone's got DG Arteta in. As I said, I'm not Arteta in or out. I'm Arsenal in. You know, again, really Arteta is still on borrowed time to me because he should have been sacked for how he's moving in November. You know, we've seen him win an FA Cup. I've seen that November. Right now, it's working at this moment in time. So I don't know for this thing. I don't listen. Nobody in. The only guy, you know, it's an Arsenal in thing. And when I see again, I don't want to get harped on words because I hate when people like, try and just pick apart words in sentences. But I'm sure we read a comment from Josh earlier or yesterday. Sorry, check out that live stream, and he was referring to Arsenal as a brand. Now I know you lot are briefed on stuff. You lot have PR people. Did know Arsenal is a brand. There's nothing said by it, but in the way you've used it as a sentence, it looks like you're defining Arsenal as a brand, not a club. Again, language is important. The language you use is arguably more important than actually what you're saying. That's why a lot of people fall for a lot of jazz in this world. So yeah, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't, man. DG, my judgment is solely based on their actions, not their words. They can say what they want. The only action is what matters, and that's it. Simple as that. Oba almost snatched defeat from the jaws of victory for us, DG. Listen, I don't think he did it on purpose. I don't think any player wants to do mistakes on purpose. But yeah, man. I haven't learned anything. We've just been very lucky. You know what? I would say I've learned that there's a bit more of a grit and determination. But again, long termism. I don't know. You know, it's 10 games. You don't get awards for 10 games and that, you know. Wenger should have tried to recruit Klopp or Pep. It's for those above him. And for them, I don't think they wanted Wenger to leave. And for Wenger, he didn't want to leave. So that cost us the Pep and the Klopp, whatever. You know, I don't know if for Vieira, man. Trusting the process. Wait, let's see, man. I like what we're doing as a club, but we ain't. If we thought we've achieved anything, if we think everything's changed, it's a myth. And you could actually see those old cobwebs starting to reappear when we drew against Brighton and Palace. The same old language, the pitchforks were coming out. And I think that's where we've got in that situation as an Arsenal fan is that I genuinely think a lot of Arsenal results, a lot of Arsenal talking points, a lot of Arsenal games, a lot of Arsenal results. There's no in between. Fans lack a real in between of, you know, it's either we're amazing or we're terrible, or, you know, you can't blame more than one thing for why something's happening. Any prediction/thoughts on Liverpool versus Arsenal after the break? Alex, man, you have to allow me, car. It's a long way away, but I'm expecting Liverpool to hit hard. I'm expecting Liverpool to not want to entertain any BS at home. I'm expecting Klopp to be vexed because, you know, if they didn't beat us, that would be 3 games pissing about. And obviously they're fighting for a title. So I'm expecting an angry and aggressive and very much focused Liverpool. But saying that, I want to have half a chance against them. And you have half a chance if you just go about them. Me personally, it's about the level we play. Make Liverpool, make it look like a side that's got Mo Salah, one of the best, if not the best in the world right now. Don't do the cheap mistakes and the defeative attitude. The minimum is turning up. And as I said earlier, the beautiful thing about football, it's just about the 22 players being better. Man might be faster, more skillful, but you can't cheat to get that. It's not Formula One or whatever. You know, we've all got a level playing field, you know, but you need to get the mind right. First things first. You know, because if it's not there, Liverpool are one of the most unforgiving teams in world football. You will learn the hard way. And I don't know about any of you, but I'm not on it. Really and truly. Not going to lie, Liverpool scare me now that they've lost the game. I'm pretty sure they scare everyone, man. Feel bad for Aubameyang generally. He looked so eager to make up for his mistakes and it kept backfiring. But that's what you shouldn't do. It's easier said than done. And for someone who's very experienced, you should know not to do that, man. You know, just accept your L. I've missed my pen. It is what it is. You know, I'll go back to training, but let's just win. And more time when you don't focus on that, you go and score. But then saying that, I understand it because, you know, when it's completely different. But I remember last season for my last team in the cup, I'm the captain. I've given away a penalty. I've scored in the game and scored ultimately the winner, but that's only happened because I'm overcompensating. Truthfully, like I'm seeing it in my head, like the ref was getting. I think I scored 2 minutes before the end of the game. The ref is there saying, "Yo, it's straight pens, you know, this and that," and it's playing on my head. You know, it's like, bro, why did I slide in? Why did I do that? Why did I do that? You know, to the point where it's playing on me. It's like the thing that defined me and made me play a bit better in that particular moment. My brethren were on the side and I'm playing left back. The balls come over and it's one of them. Like I'm not amazing, but like there's certain assurances. You know, once I'm opening out my body, you know, the ones there is I fullback, open out the body, drift down there. So it's a thing where before it's even happened, they're telling me what to do. But this time I've gone to control the ball, brother. The touch was horrible, and I've heard my brethren go raw, like the way he said it, and like at first I crumbled in it, like I wanted to come off in it, but then I said, you know what, man, I have to fix up now. I have to fix up. Then I kept saying to myself, I'm flying forward. Like I'm meant to be left back. Listen, it's my fault if we go to penalties and lose. I don't like penalties. It's my fault. I'm going forward. I'm overcompensating. Unfortunately, we ended up bagging. So, yeah, man, I understand them things there, but I would think normally it should be a next pen taker. I think, personally, I was surprised Lacazette didn't say, yo, listen, man, need this. I'm trying to grab this. This might be my last season at Arsenal. I need to see how many goals I can bag. It's one of them ones, man. Aubameyang's the villain for that game. He was the hero against Spurs. He'll be the hero again. Heroes and villains all week, man. My Ainsley Maitland-Niles was man of the match. Your thoughts on his performance? Think he should be our new penalty kicker? To be fair, he's got nerves of steel from the penalty. Don't quite think he'll be that. Had a good game, very good game. Like again, I don't think that's played him into the Liverpool plans, but it's given Arteta something to think about. Maybe he does keep his place. You know, that's how Tavares started. Maybe, you know, maybe he does keep his place. Maybe Arteta, you change some of, I don't want it to be, but he's changed his thinking. I might not be a midfielder. You've given him confidence. If your manager's got confidence, you're going to get more game time. So it would be nice if he could try to retain his spot and complicate things, but I don't think he should. And I don't think he will against Liverpool, but he might do. Expecting Arsenal to be top four after Liverpool, our boys hitting some form. I mean, expectations. And are we a team where you can have expectations? I don't know, man. Josh said, if there's holes, we'll address it. Well, if that's the case, I expect a midfielder or two in January. Tell him again, South London. Tell him again, trust. I think it should be, and I know they, you know, striker and centre mid. I don't want to say I'm surprised because Arsenal can do things very different, but I'd be surprised if this time next year we haven't got at least two centre mids and a new look striker, man. This is why I like this channel. There's a balance in emotions. We had a good run and I'm happy, but still trying to be very realistic as well. I appreciate that. And it's not even a thing of being realistic. It's not even that I'm trying to keep everyone's feet on the ground. Get excited, you know, get excited, ride the emotions. It's just, I can't lie to you. I can only talk on what I feel I've seen with my eyes. And, you know, I'm happy that we're on the unbeaten run, but I don't think we're as good as that run is saying. And I'm keen to see how we react to when it's done, Carl. I would love it to be, but we're not going to go unbeaten from now to the end of the season. You know, minimize where you hold your L's. Make sure you take your chances, man. We went from it's the hope that kills you to having expectations. Now, I mean, this is, bro, fans. Football is a mad game of emotions, bro. As you lot all know, it's a mad game of emotions. I am Wenger into the death of me, man, deserve better. I was one of them, like, I was like, bro, you're my guy, but you're still my dude. And it cried. Like, I ain't cried too many times for a while. But one time I did cry of recent. How much tears I shed when Wenger's going, Wenger, making better noise, man. making hella noise, man. DG, the moment Liverpool beat us, people be fuming. Stay calm and don't get OTT. And that's the thing, you know. We had a draw against Brighton and fans were going, we can't draw games. What's going on? You know. And I think and that's another way where people didn't have balance because for me, we're lucky to get a point of brand because we never turned up. And I think tactically, Arteta, we was outdone by their three at the back. So there is question marks. But we need to remember, Brighton away is not a bad point. We should have turned up. We could have turned up and maybe got a bit better, but it's not a bad point. That's the accustomed. Now, I get everyone that's vexed with the Palace game. I understand it. Man, get excited in this thing. They lose it a lot. But we're talking to a fan base that's easily amused. As much as they say the board lack mediocrity and whatnot, I'll never forgive a lot of you lot for sitting there after 2 games and saying Marie's the best centre half at this club. I'll never live that down. As long as I'm breathing, I'll never live that down. With Arsenal, you're a hero and then you're a villain. Tierney, Saka, Aubameyang, Lacazette are testament to that. Lacazette, everybody's on his case now and breading him. Do you remember last season, before the second half of last season, they're saying, what's he doing here? Now I understand it. If you're not doing it on the pitch, this is what happens. But things get remixed too often now. There's no balance, and that's because of what's going on with Arsenal. Arsenal have lacked balance in all aspects, on the field, off it, historically. How can I expect the fans to have anything or look at things without emotion? The only time fans want to sit down and speak about, like people have said here, you're negative. People only want to sit down and speak about things when we've lost 5-0 or so. No one wants to talk about the little things. Oh, we could have done better there. We could have, because football is about fine margins, even more so now. Really and truly, but it is what it is, man. I can't tell anyone what to think. I don't tell anyone what to think. Just to think. Arsenal have achieved nothing yet. You want to achieve stuff, bro, you still got the FA Cup to play for. There's 20 odd games in the league. It's a good run, but a good run doesn't mean anything, really and truly. It doesn't. Just because you have been revising for a little bit and you've been passing some mock exams, that don't mean in May you're gonna, when you do the real thing, that don't mean in May or the summer you're gonna get top grades. You need to keep working. You know, you need to keep working. You've got some big tests, fair play, dusted off Leicester, have taken advantage of teams that have played poor, have kept a good run going, have kept that good consistency and stuff. But again, it's not even halfway through the season. We're not even in January. So keep going. Or keep going. There's going to be twists and turns, bumps and bruises, more injuries to come. So keep going. Forgive yourselves for the start of the season. Apply yourselves now. We're at 0 in terms of goal difference. We're in a massive slugfest with Man United, Leicester, Spurs, West Ham, all these teams for 4th place, ideally 4th, 5th, 6th. Everyone's going to win games. Everyone's going to drop games. There can be no element of complacency. We've got a point to prove, and it sounds cringy as hell, but every game is a cup final from now till May. We're going to lose some, but it's how we bounce back. How do you stop the bad form? How do you exploit your good form? It's these sort of things will make the difference, and ultimately will show some consistency among the table. I don't care if you finish 8th again or even 7th, but you had this amazing run. I don't give a shit about that. I care about August to May. Do not tell me like some Arsenal fans were doing, 2021, we're the best defensive side and we got this and got that. You're remixing narratives. We need to look at it with balance. We've been keeping clean sheets. We've got 5 clean sheets. That's only 1 behind City or Edison City, but that's also 1 behind Hugo Lloris. There's a lot of football. So let's just keep it going, keep applying ourselves and seeing what we can do in that regards. Because we're not only fighting ourselves, the league is competitive. VAR is a cheating thing, which is going against us and that. So we're playing everything, people. And people want us to lose. People want Arsenal to be that soft touch and do all these things. In the last 10 games, I'm telling you, some journalists are probably losing. Certain journalists, YouTubers, everyone, because the engagement levels aren't really there. The minute Arsenal lose, you're going to see, Aubameyang bottled it as a captain. Disillusion. What's going on here? This, that, and the third. But we're starving them. And long may it continue. But we have to keep it going. We have to keep it going. It's a lot of it's on Arteta and the board, but a lot of it is on these players and how they micromanage themselves as well. Because they're the ones playing. They're the ones who we feel embarrassment and failure. I would feel hell of embarrassed 38 games if I don't finish where I want to finish. I would take that home with me. And some of you, year in, year out, have been attached to failures. Last season, we was breaking new records, and at the start of this year, for failures. You lot's names are permanently going to be attached to that, When we watch in 20 years' time, Premier League years, and we see first-time Arsenal, this and that, some of you lot's names, unfortunately, are going to be there. But some of yours names are going to be with that FA Cup where Arteta won. Some of you lot's names can be among the first team post-Arsene Wenger to get in Champions League or do this and do that. It's whatever narratives you lot want in May, you lot will spin them. If you want it bad enough, you'll end up where you need to. If not, we'll be sitting here talking about a bag of excuses. Simple as that, in my opinion. Even though football isn't a simple game, folks. Team can be complete. Oh, you meant to say this team can't be complacent going into this next stretch of games. We can't. Again, we all know the fixture list, but for those of you who don't, we know after this it's a Liverpool affair, which crazy. But we'll have to see. Let me get it up for you lot. Again, there's no complacency. You can't afford to be complacent. You cannot afford it. Shout out to the under 23s going to play in that cup on Thursday. But where Arsenal are concerned, you've got Liverpool away. You've got Newcastle, who new manager Eddie Howe might be a new managerial bounce. They're trying to stay in the division. They're bottom. So players need to want to get through. They're going to want it as much as us. Hopefully not. You've got to go to Old Trafford, regardless of their form. You've got to respect them. Everton, Goodison Park. I want a performance there. I'm not going to lie, because that was atrocious last year. Southampton, bit of a bogey team. In form West Ham team. That's his biggest play in the biggest teams in the league right now. They're in form and they're a tricky team to come up against. Last season at home, we just about won, if I remember correctly. And that, and it was a crazy game at their place. You've got to go to Ellen Road. Now, Leeds are not flying high like they used to, or wasn't at this time last year, but still, you've got a cup game where this Sunderland guy was talking mad bullshit, calling us a small club and things like that. Go and give that pampered guy, who is only a manager because of his dad, Lee Johnson, you pussy, go and smoke his team. Don't let him talk more West. Get to Gap final. Carrow Road is difficult. Regardless, they're trying to stay in the league. Wolves are a very good team. We fucked up at that stage last season. We've got a difficult run. That's why I said from now till January, all that matters. We need to be going into this City game, probably going to change that today, with a decent points tally, still being able to say the same things that we're talking about now, how we're fifth and these things. So time will tell, man. Time will tell. And I'm not expecting to win the game. We can't win every game. It's not going to be like that. But it's about how you lose. It's about how you lose. And for me, even starting with the Liverpool game, if they show their quality, what can I sit here and say? Their quality team. Don't lose because people are playing stray passes. People are not following runners, individual pass backs and things like that. These are the things. You can lose to Liverpool, but lose with pride. That's it. The issue with Arsenal in recent years is getting rid of bad players quick enough or getting them out of the starting 11. It's like the rotten fruit effect. Exactly in the same way we want people to have good habits. We have a lot of players with some bad habits, and bad habits and good habits are contagious. You become who you chill with. You can't be a good defensive side with bad habits, which is, we've still got youthful naiveties that need to be learned. But that's why when we was doing when we was improving defensively when we was having guys like Mustafi in our defense, it was never going to be there because they're not good defenders and it's not about ability. They don't have good habits, so it was never going to last. We need to any bad habits I expect with these young players, Ramsdale, etc. We need to coach that out and promote good habits. Because for the next, Saliba is going to come in and obviously he might pick up some good or negative traits according to what's going on. I do have faith in Liverpool, but you can't just look at the fact that they moved to them, man. I didn't say we can't do anything. I just don't, it's not a given. And it's about the mentality. And then fundamentally, I know Arsenal are unbeaten, but in my heart, I don't know what Arsenal turn up. I'm still not convinced by Arteta. In his 100th game in all comps, he has 54 wins. Only manager in the club's history with more wins in their first 100 is Graham with 56. Let's just hope his time ends with Graham, like Graham or Wenger. But again, you have to. That's a very good step to have. We need a cash injection and a little bit of bribery money from Jeff Bezos to get that documentary to bang after this season. We live in a time of ifs and maybes. If we sell El Nene Kolasinac, then maybe we sign a centre mid, but a striker. Forget all these dreams, guys. I also wish to be wrong in this statement. It's true, but certain people have more hopes and dreams and ifs and buts than the others. So we've got a good platform, but I listen. If you, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, but we went 10 games unbeaten in all comps and kept 5 clean sheets in November, broski. I'm not gonna waffle about that in May. Seriously, what has Arteta shown us in our unbeaten run? That's a bit harsh. We've seen a bit more fire, grit, determination. On occasion, we've played some good football. We have seen some building blocks. In relation to a marker, I wouldn't say not. And I still think the jury's out on Arteta and the players. I would say that. So I see where you're coming from, but